Hello. Before going for the discussion of the previous question, I would like to give you a very simple method for doing it. The intensity level at a point created by 1000 identical sound source of 80 decibel is 80 decibel to reduce to 70 decibel. So how many sound sources to be disconnected? So I am going to explain you a universal method today. Universal method. Imagine like there is a sound source, that means source of sound, which has an intensity of I naught. Okay, Raman? Intensity of I1. Intensity of I1 because of the power of this P. So there might be I2 intensity because of N times um, power sources. That means it is can be a person who like make a sound like uh, that I speak now, or clapping of a one person, clapping of a two person, and like an n number. So how can you just get the other one? You have to multiply this by n. N can be any number, any number. That means it is not always to be an integer, right? It's not always need to be an integer. Any number like 1 by 2, by 3, by million, or by half, by 1 over 4, or 1 over 8, by 1 into 10 to the power minus 6, can be any number. Can you understand? Yes or no? If you don't understand, please let me know. Hello, Lamai. If you don't understand what I said about I2 in terms of the multiplication of uh, product of I1, Lamai, let me know. If you don't understand, I will explain that again. Understood? Good. So I am going to write the very basic equation. Intensity of beta is equals to 10 Lg I over I naught. This is what my basic form of the equation. So due to this, because of the intensity of I1, there is a thing called beta 1. There is a relative intensity level of beta 2. So I am going to write the equation of beta 1 and beta 2 now. Beta 1 will be 10 Lg I1 over I naught. I hope you may understand this. In the other part is beta 2 is equals to 10 Lg I2 over I naught. Equation number 1. equation number 2. Now I want to find out the difference. So delta beta is beta 2 minus beta 1. So you may have to substitute this one to there, this one to here. Right. Now only you may need the mathematical knowledge. Here delta beta is equals to 10 Lg I over I naught minus 10 Lg I over I, sorry, I2 over I naught and I1 over I naught. Right, okay. Now what I'm going to do here it is substitute these values to there. You know one thing, whenever there is a subtraction of logarithm, it becomes what? The division inside. So I have to put this in a square bracket, then Lg in a regular bracket. I naught and I naught cancel off. So this becomes 10 Lg I2 over I1. Now let me introduce I2. What is my I2 value? What is my I2 value? Tell me, Lamai. What is my I2 value? Tell me. Here, didn't I tell you I2 is product of what? Product of n times I1. In this equation, you can apply to solve any of the above calculations. Marley. This is the very much of the shortcut method to solve for simple MCQ questions. But remember that this is not a standard equation. This is only for MCQs. If it is a essay question, you have to show these all the steps and come to this point and do. Okay. I didn't teach this thing in the theory class even because I told you I will teach you a new technique that is the paper class. If you guys remember, you might remember that I said something like that. Okay. I hope you understand. කතා කරන්න බලන්නේ හරි අමාරුයි. ඔයාලා ඉන්ට්‍රෝවර්ට් වෙලා මොනවා බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවද දන්නේ නැහැ. නිකන් just drop a message. Just more than enough. අපින් දැරෙන්න මේ පන්තිය වෙන ළමෙක් නැද්ද තේරි? ඉන්න විතරද ඔය තේරෙන්නේ? හ්ම්. හරි. ඔයාලා කියනකම් මම කිසි දෙයක් උගන්වන්නේ නැහැ. සුම ඉන්ට්‍රෝවර්ට් ළමයා. හ්ම් හ්ම්. හරි. That's why they are said to be introverts. What is the equation? Okay. The intensity level at a point created by 1000 identical sound sources is 80 decibel. To reduce the intensity level up to 70 decibel, the number of sound sources has to be disconnect each. Let's see the number. Here delta beta is what? 80 to 70. 10 LG and N. This 10 is equals to 10 LG N. 1 equals to LG N. So I want to take the antilog to get N out. So 1 stands for 10 to the power 1 is equals to LG, sorry, without LG antilog N. So what is the number? n equals to 10. Can you understand? Am I? Hello? Here cut off කරන්න ඕනද? You have cut off 10. In the next one, the loudspeaker will produce a steady sound of 220 hertz. Let me explain you the previous case with more important theory. That is intensity. So the intensity, you can change the intensity by many times. Intensity means, imagine like a power 100 volt uh, ins- instruments just emitting some sound. It can just emit some intensity of I1, here I2, here I3. It is all because of, we know that equation intensity is equals to power over area. So the intensity is power over 4 pi r to the power 2. The instrument, that means like a loudspeaker or whatever, human mouth, clapping, whatever. The source is a constant thing. 4 is a constant, pi is a constant. 1 over r to the power 2, you can get this result like 1 over r to the power 2 is the relationship. Sometimes you may need this. So for comparing of two occasions, you can write like I1 is proportional to 1 over R1 square, I2 is proportional to 1 over R2 square. So when you divide these two, I1 over I2 is equals to R2 square over R1 square. This is like an additional information I am giving. Not necessary for the calculation of the above question. Just memorizing of some important theory parts. Right. I hope you understand. Okay. Right. Now let me explain you as a product of I, who is always a product of n times of I1. So I am going to explain you some sort of changes of intensity according to the size of what? According to the change of intensity. N now. As I told you, n can be a whole number, certain fraction can be anything. Please don't try to remember these values. Huh? It is really horrible if you try to remember values. Very bad. Decibel තමයි ඔයාලට බැරිම කියලා මං හිතන්නේ. එහෙම නේද? අලුත් දෙන්නාගෙන් කාලා බලන්න. දැන් කවුද ඉන්නේ? ගෞරවී. ගෞරවී. Hello. Hi Gauravi.
Yes, sir.
How about decibel calculations for you?
Mm. Average, sir.
Average means if you mark it from 0 to 100, what is your level?
Like 65, 70.
That means it's a good. Huh. Ita pa set tayo ng Madhuri. What is the level? Kung may Madhuri Dixit. Malamig kaya darang yun. Brinda. Brinda. Oh, yeah, no, we wasn't changing from 0 to 100. I'm talking about decibel. The one or the two. I said, like, what is your level for this sound intensity level according to marks range of 0 to 100? Your level. If you state your level according to 0 to 100. Exactly. Malsi,
Yes, sir.
what is your level?
I can't hear you properly.
You can't hear me? Can never. I ask you, what is your level?
Below 50s.
Okay. I'm going to give you another tip that how this changes. Might be we are not discussing all like 100 such questions because it is really unable to do because I explained more theory, missing theory. I told you first 3 to 4 weeks I just cover more theory. So here I will would like the change of n number of instruments or whatever the thing, and let's see how the beta level, that means the relative sound intensity level change. If you just change like 10, and I told you your simple equation. What is my simple equation I told you to remember? Delta beta equals to 10 LGN. We did a simple calculation even for that. Delta beta is equals to LG, 10 LG, sorry, delta beta 10 times LG times 10. Right. Now, in terms of logarithms, you have to have some good knowledge of logarithm. x dash. Okay. Then it is going to be 1 index form. Log to the base 10 to the power 1000 is going to be 3. Likes of log to the base 10 to the power 8. What is it? Just 8. You have to know these things. Now, when I apply here, LG 10 means LG stands for log to the base 10. 10 is in the normal notation it is 1. 10 times 1, that means the change is just 10. 10 decimal. Can you understand what did I do here? Yes or no? ඔව් නම් කියන්න නැත්තම් නෑ කියන්න. හා කියන්න නැත්තම් නෑ කියන්න. මම නිකන් මේක 1000 වලින් කරලා බලන්න. I told you log to the base 10 to the 1000. 1000 means you have to count how many zeros on the 3. So what is the decimal limit it will just added? 30. The 30 decibel change occur. Can you understand? Right. Now you have to have really good understanding here. 1 over 10. Very bad, no? How can I apply? You can. One over 10. But it is really hard to solve. What do I do is, one into, 10 to the power minus 2. So can you remember normal logarithmic log? Log to the base 10 ax. How do you write this? How do you write this? Ax. How do you write this? You have to bring this to the other index x log to the base 10 times. This is here 9 logarithm might be. Can you remember? So I have to bring this number to here. Delta beta is equals to minus 2 times 10 times LG 10. So I told you what is LG 10. Tell me what is LG 10. Tamai Ainamai. What is LG 10? Very bad name. See this. One. It's 1. Sorry, minus 1 කියන එකට මම මේ 2 දාලා පොඩි පොඩි වැරදි දීලා minus 1 කියන එකට වැරදිලා minus 10. Minus 1 times 10 means minus 10. That means 10 decibel reduced. So decibel 10ක් අඩු. හරිනේ? You hope you may understand this. ඔව් නම් ඔව් කියන්න නැත්නම් නැහැ කියන්න මට කියන්න. හරිද? හරි. දැන් මම පොඩි අමුතු දෙයක් කරන්න යන්නේ. අපි බලමු. It is just multiplying by a factor of 2. Not, sometimes it might not given in whole numbers. What can we do then? G2. Okay. මාර සිංහල එක කියන්නේ we have to find out what is logarithm of 2. කාලවරෙන් කොනේ. We may have to find out logarithm of 2. හරි. අපි online scientific calculator එකකට ගිහිල්ලා ගහලා බලමු log of 2. 0.3010. මේ number එක ඇත්තටම මට නම් තාම මතක නැහැ. I can remember this number because of not because of physics, all because of chemistry. How many of these students are there who do chemistry? Chemistry කරන ළමයි කවුද ඉන්නේ? හැමෝම කරනවා. හරි. Very good. Chemistry කරන අයට I don't know whether it's already started to do the physical chemistry. If you start to do physical chemistry, you will always find this number because there is an equation EH is equals to minus LG H plus concentration. In that one, you most of the time you have to apply this value from logarithm books table. කරලා ඇති කියලා හිතනවා මම දන්නේ නැහැ කරලා තියෙනවද කියලා. Physical chemistry තාම පටන් ගත්තේ නැද්ද? ඔයාලා තාම physical chemistry කරලා නැහැ නේද? කරලා බලන්න. ආස හිතෙයි කියලා මට කියන්න දෙන්න. LG, no LG, please. LG 0.30 multiplied by 10. Your decibel level change is only 3 dB. Only by 3. නේද? කියන්නේ. ඔය කියන්නේ. ඉතින් අපිට ඕකම ගන්න පුළුවන් 60. බලමු 16 දාන්න. හරි ගැතයි නේ 16 කියන්නේ කොහොමද? 4 to the power 2. Now tell me what to do. තත්තර කියන්නේ මම මොකද කරන්නේ? 16 is equals 4 to the power 2. මට ගන්න පුළුවන් වැඩේ කියන්නේ. Four to the power 2 විතරද? නැත්තම් මට කලින් ගත්තා වගේ 2 වලින්ම ගන්න පුළුවන්. අපිට ඒක ලේසියි. 2 to the base what? 2, 4, 8, 16. 4. 2 to the base 4. This comes here. Delta beta is equals to 4 times 10 times LG2. We just learned what is LG2. It is 0.3. So your decibel level just drops by, increase by actually 0.3. හරි. මම ඔයාලගේ අන්ඩර්ස්ටෑන්ඩින් එක කොච්චරද කියලා බලන්න මම මෙහෙම එකක් දෙන්නම්. Now do it and tell me the answer. I will give you somewhere like 3 minutes maximum. හරි. ශක්දල් try එකක් දෙන්න. මොන බලන් ඉති කියන්නේ? Hmm, 3 times 10 to the power 0.5. Hame, huh? Brinda girl. Hello, Brinda. Yeah. Why don't you speak?
Sir,
Ah, I thought it is Brinda 2, not Brinda 1. Because
no,
Brinda 1
sir, it's
speaks,
Brinda.
Brinda 2 he doesn't. Huh? So, first of all, let me know whether you are Brinda 1 or Brinda 2.
Brinda one, sir.
Brinda 1. Then you made a big mistake. Others. How is that? Gauravi. Gauravi girl,
Yes, sir.
what is your answer?
Sir, still doing.
Ah, still doing. Oh my God, very bad. Madhuri. Madhuri තමයි අමතම ජීවියෙක් යා. හරි. Do whatever you want, man. So, Malsi,
1.25.
1/8. Ah, this is very weird. I can write 2 in formula, 2 to the power 3. Then that 2, 4, 8. So it's 2 to the power 3. This looks very horrible now. I will bring that up. Two to the power minus. The reason is, can you remember this? 1 over x, you write it like x to the power minus 2. When you bring it, minus 1. Like 1/8 to the power minus 8. X to the power minus 8, you write. In the similar manner, you may have to write this one 2 to the power minus 3. 2 remaining minus 3 comes. Because this makes a jump. Okay. What is LG2? I told you this number is 0.3. Other? How can? ඔය කියන්නේ. මිස්ටේක් එක තේරුණාද මෙන්ද? below Gomez Linda. You didn't put the minus sign, negative. And you also made a big mistake here. See, you have multiplied by log of 0.5. How can it be
No,
0.5?
sir, I did it again and I got 9 gigabit, but I didn't put minus sign.
Ah, very bad, very bad. Ah, you did again. Okay, very good job. මම හිතනවා මේ ටික ඇති කියලා තේරුම් ගන්න ඔය ලොගරිතම් කේස් එක.
Yes, sir.
The loudspeaker which produces steady sound of like 220 hertz is kept facing a vertical wall. The distance between the sound source and the wall is like 21 meter. There are sequences of maximum and minimum sound values between the gap. When the velocity of sound is like 330 hertz, sorry, meters, gap between any consecutive maximum sound intensity value is. Oh, what does it suggest, man? There are two vertical walls. Those are like 21 meters apart. Right. As you know, the source of sound only one volt. Sorry. Imagine like this one is the source. This will reflect back and may produce this type of interference. As a result of it, this part is node. Nodes are with minimum intensity. Anti-nodes are with the maximum intensity. Sorry. It's a maximum. Got it? Sorry. So distance between two consecutive high amplitude hearing means it is the wavelength lambda. I hope you may understand. It's lambda. So your answer should be like V is equals to F lambda. Lambda equals to V over F. V is like, what is it? 320 divided by එකොළහේවා දෙකයි 3 over 2 meters. Answer is here. හරිම ලේසි. ඒක gap එක අපිට ඇති වැඩකුත් නැහැ. We don't want to know the gap either. හරිද? Okay. කියන්න. දැන් මට කියන්න ඔය answers එක හැමෝම කවුද හරියට ගත්තේ? ගත්ත කට්ටිය කියන්න හරියට. ඔයාලා ඇති වෙලා ගන්න ඕන දෙයක් කරගන්න මට ඇති වෙලා නැහැ. I have nothing to do with introverts. I hate them. try පාරක් දාමුද? මේ ටික try පාරක් දාන්නවා. දෙකේ MCQ ටික try පාරක් දාන්නවා. ඔයාලා වැඩියෙන් කැමති ඕකද? What do you like? Try these things or try MCQs? TD for try these, MCQ for MCQ. TDO MCQ ටක් ගාලා දාන්න. මේ ටික try එකක් දාන්නද MCQ ටික කරන්න? කොහෙද කියන්නේ දරුවෝ? MCQ කරමු. දෙන්නෙක් කියනවා MCQ. අනිත් ළමයි very bad girls. Very bad girls. කියන්න. MCQ. කොහොම කෙල්ලෝ ටික කියනවා MCQ. What to do when you think? MCQ ඉල්ලුවට අඬන්න තමයි වෙන්නේ ආ. ටිකක් අඬලා තමයි වෙන්නේ. ලේසි MCQ නෙමෙයි. ස්ට්‍රක්චර් එක කරා නම් හොඳයි කියලා හිතන MCQ. පළවෙනි හතර කරලා පොඩි ඉන්ටෝල් එකක් එහෙම අරන් යන්න. ටක් ගාලා ෆස්ට් හතර කරමු. දැන් ඉන්ටෝල් නෙමෙයි. First four all are really hard level questions. So I will give you 12 minutes for these four questions. හතරම I think superior level එකේ questions හතර. You will get 12 minutes to do these four MCQs. ඔයාලා මතක ඇතිනේ මම කිව්වනේ. In a paper, first 10 MCQs are really babies. Because this is a paper class practice, we only managed to do like 12 to 15 MCQs. No babies questions are allowed here for the theory understanding season. After that, there will be more than like 20 MCQs to be discussed in one day because I won't explain theory too much. ඊට පස්සේ ආයෙත් වැඩි කරනවා 25 30 වගේ යනවා. ඒකට පොඩි බබාලා ඒවයි අමාරු ඒවයි mix කරලා දෙන්න. But here until you understand the theory, it will be totally very hard questions. Another, check your OA. I'm going to start the time. Okay, recording is progress. How did you feel? කොහොමද? වහටියකුත් තිබ්බනම් සෝක් වගේද නියමයිද? Huh? How did you feel? Tegal lagi ya? Kompak. Baik. අනේ මංගා මොකද මේ කියලා කියන්නකො මම නම කියලා අහන් ඉන්නවද Brinda, how did you feel? Feeling awesome? Brinda? Oh yeah, man, oh my God. Are you still doing? Your time is over. Time එක ඉවරයි කියලා දන්නේ නැතුව තාම කරනවද දන්නේ නැහැ කට්ටිය. තමයි. Time over. Repeat up. Where are we? Where are we?
Yes, sir.
How do you feel?
Sir, I'm doing the last part, last question.
Yeah, no, I'm asking like easy, medium, or tough, or very hard. Can't do what is it?
Medium, sir.
බලමු ආන්සර් හතර හරිනම් හරි නැත්නම් දෙන්න ඩොක්ටර්. මාල්ටි. 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 මාල්ටි, hello.
Yes, sir.
මොකද නිකන් බාගට මැරිච්ච choice එකකින්.
I can hear you properly.
You can't hear me properly. I ask you, how do you feel it?
I have no idea.
Two large tuning forks A and B fixed to wooden boxes are placed close to each other. When the tuning fork A vibrated, the tuning fork B also vibrated with maximum intensity. Right? Also vibrated with maximum intensity. If the prong of the tuning fork A is square and they are vibrated together. Maximum intensity. You have to remember this graph of intensity and the amplitude. So the maximum intensity with maximum amplitude occur when the natural frequency, when the object is oscillating at the natural frequency. So that means tuning fork A and tuning fork B are identical. Okay. If the prong of the tuning fork A is square and when they are vibrated together, 10 beats heard during 5 seconds. 10 means not the beat frequency for 5 seconds. So you have to firstly find out FB, that means Facebook, 10 over 2. That's for 2 seconds or 5 seconds. 5 seconds. ඔන්න ඔයගේ දේවල් එනවා. දැන් මට දැක්කම ඔය වගේ දේවල් සක්කාලා 10 පහෙන් බෙදලා ආන්සර් එක එනවා 2 කියලා. පැත්තකින් තියෙනකොට අම්ක කියලා 1 ලියනවා. 5 over 2. මට කිරියක් වෙන්නේ. So this 2 hertz. Okay. Now, then the tuning fork A is vibrated together with another frequency. Sorry, tuning fork of 256 20 beats hertz for 5 seconds. Wow. FB2 is 20 over 5 is 4 hertz. Frequency of tuning fork B could be in the first case, is that my voice not clear for others? වෙන්න බෑ මම මොකද තව device එකක් තියාගෙන එකේ නාන ගමන් මේ කතා කරන්නේ. I'm speaking while another device kept sometimes, but that's why you hear can echo. I want to hear my own voice to make it confirm. That's why I maintain 2 voice devices in the same time. It is clear only for you. It's like murmuring. Is it like this? Hello. This is frequency of tuning fork A is oscillating with tuning fork B and tuning fork A is having such square. Is that the way? Okay. Now this is identical. Now tell me when you square will the frequency increase or decrease? Normal. Now it become normal. Normal. අර තියෙන පණ්ඩිතකම් අයින් කරලා අම්මට සිරි ඡන්දේ ගන්න නිකන් මතු යරිතේ. sorry ඉතින් ඇත්තටම ඉන්නේ normal ගනේ. When you just scrape means you just do what? Lose the size. Okay, now imagine like a fat guy and a very slim guy together. So when he was so fat, he could run like 100 meters within like 5 minutes. එහෙම තමයි. මේක 100ක් ගන්න විනාඩි 5ක් යනවා. Because the guy is the sadia. Okay. සාමාන්‍ය මිනිහෙක් ඇවිදිනකොට වඩා 4-5 මිනිහක් අඩු ස්පීඩ් එකකින් තමයි තනිය දුවන්නේ. So if the guy now lose his weight by doing some exercises or some other manner, now he can just easily run faster, like few seconds. Not like Usain Bolt, at least like within like 12 to 14 seconds. What the speed taking here? It is like the same way this can vibrate very fast. I hope you understand. Okay, ne? Right. Now have a good look at frequency f normal, f dash is higher. This one is higher. Now you can see now A, B. A is higher than B. You heard like 2 hertz frequency because this one is higher than the other one. Okay. Now it is about, in the next one, now tuning fork A is vibrated together with another tuning fork C frequency this much. Okay, with the frequency C, FC of 256, you let it oscillate. You can hear 4 hertz difference if with tuning fork A like this in a negative. This negative means this is 252. This is 252. The other thing is this can be 260 of frequency A. Okay, as you know, B should be 2 hertz lower than that. So that means this should be 260. No, sorry, 58. 2 hertz lower. Actually, in between here, 258. Here, the other case is, if this is 250, 260, the frequency should be 258. If it was 252 before, the other one is even 2 hertz lower. Hearing for B should be 250. How do we know? 250. May I locate 258. You have checked for the answers for 250 or 258. There is the answer for 258. So your answer should be this one. Can you understand? The double header question. Lamai, hello. Yes. Yeah, Brinda, right? You said, sir. Sir, තමයි. අපුවාම නෙමෙයි. මොකද සර් කිව්වේ? නිකන්ද සර් කිව්වේ. මේක හරි කට්ටිය කවුද? ටක් ගාලා දාන්න මම හරි කියලා. yes කියලා දාන්න. හරි අය. If you get the answer correctly, just drop a message. Madhuri said yes. Only Madhuri did. Madhuri try කරලා. If the magnification done by a convex lens when forming a real image of a real object, capital M, object is capital M. The graph best represent variation of cap 1 over M with object distance U. Okay. If the magnification done by convex lens. බලමු. We have to draw a diagram. Capital H, capital H, simple H, U here, V here. Now the thing is the magnification, magnification is V over U, or magnification is equal to simple H over capital H. What the heck soever. So, you know magnification V over U. Here, U is a positive U because this is the direction of light travel according to the sign convention. Anything behind the lens, positive, before the lens, in front of it is like a negative, minus U. And for convex lenses, F is always negative. 1 over V minus 1 over U equals to 1 over F is the equation. So you have to substitute 1 over minus V minus 1 over plus U 1 over minus F. Now you can just get the magnification. What is magnification? V over U. You can do two things. One is you can just multiply this whole by multiplying by V. Minus 1, sorry, V over V minus V over U V over F. What is S එකක් වෙනවා. හොඳට බලන්නකෝ minus 1 minus M V over F. මල කෙලියයි U නේ. එතකොට මේක හරියන්නේ නැහැ. The next thing. ඔයි. එහෙනම් ඊළඟ option එක you have to use V. Sorry, multiply by U. U ඉතුරු කරගන්න ඕනේ. බලමු. U over V minus U over U. U over F. හරි. පොඩි සීන් එකක් වෙනවා. We know one thing. V over U is M. U over V means it is 1 over M. මට ඕන කරන කතාවක් set වෙනවා. This is 1 over M. Wow. So beautiful. Answer. U over F. That is right. Minus. Minus එක වැඩ කරලා මට එපා වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. For the previous thing, what is asking here? Asking is represent of 1 over M. So already 1 over M I got. I have to just subject this part 1 over M equals to you have F plus 1. Correct? I hope you understand. Say yes if you understood. Sorry. This part is minus is still. So I have to make it like very horizontal. Wait. I want to get plus thing, so I have to multiply this again by a minus sign. So this becomes 1 over m u over f minus 1. So still I don't see a graph way to plot a graph. I need to get some specific way, that means mostly like 1. This is the constant thing here. So u is the one varying, so f is a constant. Focal length is a constant for a lens now, apart from eye lens. This looks like what y equals to mx minus mx minus. So it's a positive gradient. Graph should look like this way. Minus c m x. So the graph should be something like this. There is a graph, that is the second one. Have you ever thought of certain question to come like this? Oh, then Daru again understood this or now the next one. So in the diagram is how force F are applied perpendicular to the handles of the cracker when cutting an areca. If the equilibrium instance is given in the diagram, the force exerted on one side of areca is it is like you apply a force of F here, you apply the same force of F here. So you may think like for one side you only get this force. Oh. If you put like a force of F, this one puts like a force of F. Collectively, the whole force apply on the object. So the object feel like getting the force of, but the reaction on here. When you try the reaction on this side, you will have to count both the forces for the reaction here. When you count the reaction, you have to add the both the forces. I explained this part in theory. So that's to kind of like what? Distract you. You may think, this is for one side, no? Then only one force have to consider. No. Both the forces have to consider. Now what is it? The force acting on one side of the Erica nut is, now it is applying on the direction of L. So in equilibrium, it says like in equilibrium, F dash x is equals to 2F 5x. Then that wait. Okay, sorry. I made a mistake because only one, one movable thing, other one is immovable. So only one side has to consider. So you have to divide this by 2. The answer is 5. Okay. Now the next part is when the king coconut is pierced at top as shown, its liquid of density rho will rise a maximum of H, and this will liquid will can be considered as non-viscous incompressible liquid. The excess pressure inside the king coconut over atmospheric pressure produced is just give me a 1 minute, Lamai. Okay, Lamai. Here it is like uh, okay. So the height is like, so you can find out the excess pressure inside the king coconut. So it is like what? H rho g. Okay. The pressure here is H rho g. Can you understand? Because it will maintain certain liquid column like this. Very simple. The pressure difference is P here should be equals to H rho g difference. Got it? Okay. How many answers you got correct out of these 4? කරගලද? හතරෙන් කීයක් හරිද? Only 2. Others? 3. Others? Oh. මම පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහනවා ළමයි. අපි මේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න හංගලා කරන්න ඕනේද? එලිපිට කරලා දාන්න ඕනේද? Are we supposed to do these questions in the past for height and do only easy questions to kind of like give you some soothing to your mind? එහෙම නෑනේ. බබා කරන්න ඕනේ නෑනේ. අපි මොකද කරන්නේ? ඉන්ටර්වල් එකක් අරන් එනවද? දිගටම කරනවද? ඉන්ටර්වල් එකක් ගන්න තරම් වෙලාව. ඊපස්සේ 10 minutes විතර ඉන්ටර්වල් එකක් ගන්නවද? කැමැත්තක් තියෙනවා. මොකද කියන්නේ ඉන්ටර්වල් එකක්ද දිගටම කන්ටිනියු? ඕකේ කියලා බෑ. ඉන්ටර්වල් වල කන්ටිනියු. නම් මාරවල ඉන්ටර්වල් එක අරන් දුවේද මම කියනකොට. මధుරේතරම් කාපරු නොදෙද්දියක් දැම්ම ඉන්ටර්වල් is okay කියලා. හොඳයි. It's template. Hi ළමයි. Interval is over. Shall we start some questions to do? Okay, there are certain more questions here. So, the problem is this theory I have to recapture. Upthrust and some other theories. We won't have that much of time. चलो time में पूर्ण है नहीं. So in the last week we did angular velocity and angular momentum. Sonometer is a really simple thing. Resonance is also normal. We centripetal force. Let's do question number 8, 9, 10, 11. So 4 questions, 10 minutes. Right? Here the upthrust I have to explain a lot. For both questions below to upthrust. Upthrust is a very upset theory for many. And the inclined plane and friction all together. So, not to do now. Not to do now. Not to do now. So let's do these 4. I'll have a time map. Yeah. So shall we start the discussion? No, not discussion. Shall I just give you a timer? Will be again not that much. Yeah, 10 minutes now. Your timer starts. Hello guys. We hope you can hear me. Okay. A long glass tube vertically in water. Tuning fork is stuck and held over and the open end and tube. Strong resonance observed two successive lengths of 0.5 meter and 0.84 above the surface of water. If the velocity of sound in the air is like 340 ms minus 1, the frequency of the tuning fork and the interaction of the tuning fork respectively. The so this is the arrangement it should be. In here it is like right. Um, so the suppose same frequency. Right. It's 150 and it's 20 like 170 hertz. Yeah. Oh, see, it doesn't say about the natural frequency. Sorry, it is not mentioning about the type of frequency they are resonate. We don't know the type actually. We have to go for like the frequency of like VO for L times any N. Then the next one is F is equals to, so always you have to add like N plus 2. Still not getting any answer. Oh, shit. No, no, no. I made a big mistake here. So the lengths are too different. I think actually I'm not into that. No, something, let's consider it like here. Hmm. Still not getting any answer. There is a certain mistake here. Let's go for the other part. Tonometer wire having a mass per unit length of 40 grams per meter and the tension of 36 Newton is simultaneously with the tuning fork of frequency 300 megahertz while varying its frequency vibration length from very small value having mass per unit length 4 grams per meter and tension 36 Newton is simultaneously. One stage via resonance tuning box number of loops and respectively will be. Okay. Mu equals to 40 and the tension is equals to 36. Okay, have a good look at. We know that the frequency 1 over 2L E over mu. E over mu. It is like 300 hertz should be equals to 36 divided by 40 into 10 to the power minus 3. Hmm. 36 means okay, 4 by 9 divided by 40 by 10 to the power minus 3 is 10. 10 times 6 means minus 2 here. Finally, 300 is equals to 1 over 2L. Root 9 also comes out. I can remove both roots here. Ten to the power minus 1. One over 20. One over 20 means it's like 100 over 24. The centimeter count is going to be 5 centimeter for the length. How many answers there with 5 centimeter? This one and this one. So now the problem is you can remove all the other answers, but mm, now it is going to be 50-50 occasion. Now the next thing is you have to find out how many number of loops. To find that V is equals to F lambda, you have to apply. But here the speed is not given. Ah, no, no. No. This like 0.3 meter. No. Cannot be that much. Lambda equals V over F. We apply V. 4 times 9 divided by still coming in 0.3 meters. Um, if the wavelength is 0.3 meter, oh wait, it's going to be loop of the wavelength means 2 of loops. For one loop, it should be 0.15 meter. That means it is 15 centimeter. 15 centimeter means still a very big value because we have only 5 centimeter here. Did we do any mistake here? Absolutely no. Mm. Can't find the number of loops here. There is a certain mistake in the question somewhere. The next one, what is the minimum angular speed that should the Earth spin in order to make 70 kilogram human not to be able to work along equator of the ground? Tangential velocity because it will make some kind of centrifugal force that should be applying downward. So the if the weight is equals to mv square over r, this is the thing. Mg is equals to mv square over r. This is the minimum requirement. M and M cancel off. So the v is equals to square root of gr. And we know another thing, v equals to r omega. Um, r omega is equals to gr. Omega equals to gr over r to the power 2. R and we cancel out. Omega equals to g over r. G is like going to be 10 over radius is 4. 10 by 10 to the power minus 5 divided by 464 00 minus 4 here. Ten to the power minus 2 divided by 80. Hundred over 8 means it is like 12.5. Let's check whether there is an answer like that. I'm sorry, it is going to be minus 3 actually. I have to make it minus 5 here because I just have one side. Minus 5, then 1.25 into 10 to the power minus 4. Let's check whether there is an answer like that. Yeah, 1.2 into 10 to the power minus 4 is the answer. That's there, very long MCQ. Okay, our time is really up now. So shall we wind up the class for today? Okay, guys. Hello. Bye, Lamai.